Coming to you live from the Poison Point studio, it's Neo!
Good evening, my esteemed watchers, and welcome to another episode of Poison Points. I'm your host, Neo, but you can call me Irisu, and I'm glad to have you here tonight. I must apologize right off the bat. I made a mistake coming on home, and I actually forgot to do something for this stream, and I've already profusely apologized to Mono, but unfortunately I was distracted, probably by Baldur's Gate 3, probably by Sillies, and probably from exhaustion, and a ton of smoke around me. I am not going to lie, it is extremely hard to talk right now. It hurts, but I will push on through because I love my silly little watchers. Allow me to get some music for you, though. Hello, Spyro. Hello, Blaze. Hello, Table, who lost a bet. Hello, Ellie. And Mono is in chat. Buffy, I saw. Nyx, you have first. Congratulations. Right there. And I believe that is everyone who said hi. At least said hello to Daphne. I did. What? What did I do, Buffy? Oh my goodness. Astuart, thank you so much for the raid. Let me guess, you were playing Guilty Gear Strive. I have a feeling that you were playing Guilty Gear Strive. Yes. Your name is in my predicted text by this point. This is true. This is true. Nagoriyuki here. Welcome on in, Prime. I hope that you had a wonderful stream, and you've caught us at a wonderful moment. Yes, hello, Astu. Thank you. It was a pleasure fighting alongside you at one point, and I guess we're okay now? I don't even know what's happening anymore. All I know is that you assisted in the hurting of my silly little clown. And I could actually respect you for that, but what stays in the ring, well, what happens in the ring stays in the ring, so we'll leave it at that for now. I'm delivering Kool-Aid, but Astuart has dodged my offerings by making me eat this yo-yo, or eat his yo-yo. I see, the Bridget game going strong. Well, as everyone who is joining us here tonight, why don't you head on over and join the Discord? I've been working very hard on making sure that I have updates ready for everybody, making sure that the newest games are, well, at least talked about in some capacity. And aside from that, I've been working hard on making sure that all of the people who are subscribed and have donated to the server itself are able to see who their next guest will be in advance. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, by all means, we'd love to have you in the silly pad. Secondly, I do have a, well, I don't know where they caught guest in there, but secondly, I do have some socials. You could find me on over at TikTok. There we go. And YouTube. At Irisu Python for both of them, same as my Twitch handle here. Or you could click those links. I tend to upload these episodes of Poison Points towards the end of the week. After, well, it'll be either tomorrow or the day after. So if you missed any part of this episode and you want to see any more, then I'd love to have you. And I would very much appreciate all of that support. Secondly, I do have a if you do !PP and you are a creator of any kind, it doesn't matter if you're a VTuber, it doesn't matter if you are a VTuber and you are live 2D, 3D, PNG, haven't streamed in a decent amount of time, but you've at least streamed once, or even if you only make videos, I would love to have you on the show. So if that's something that would interest you, yes, PP for Poison Points, because, you know, it's too long. I think it's too long to make a command. People wouldn't press it. But also people will come in and be like, what the heck does PP mean? It's a neat little trick. I think it works. I've had some people ask what it is and then immediately use it, so If it works, it works. Finally, if any of you, for any reason, want to help me out, I typically spend about 40 hours a week making sure that Poison Points works and is near flawless, and that all of my guests are treated fairly, and on top of that, I can bring you all this other content. So if you have any extra money to give, through a subscription or through Ko-Fi, !donate, I would very much appreciate it. Absolutely not required for the stream, as I have ads turned off, except for the first one that you get when you join on in, which is, that's Twitch mandated. I can't stop that one, but there should be no more ads playing throughout the rest of the stream if you're already here. With that out of the way, I hope everyone had a wonderful week, and that the weekend is starting off treating them fairly and with confidence. I hope, at the very least, that it's going fine, so. What being are you of three things? What does the canon go? What do you mean, Prime? What being are you of three things? That's a very specific phrase. I'm doing okay, otherwise. I'm exhausted, tired, should have slept more, passed out watching Dragon Ball with the sillies, but didn't get enough sleep, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I am actually getting sick, so I apologize if I seem scatterbrained. I apologize if a word comes out of my mouth and is drawn out for a long time. I'm a man of three things: Kool-Aid delivery, strong stare, taking your Kool-Aid. I see. Well, I am a woman of three things. I am sweet, toxic, and I love to stare at you. So, if you can handle that, by all means, I'd love to have you stop on by. Anyways, I appreciate everybody's patience with me. Yeah, those all check out. Thank you. Thank you, Hicks. Hopefully, to some extent, I'm scary. Just a touch. Maybe not too much. This week is okay, traveling soon enough, I don't want to go through security. That is 100% fair. Security can be a bitch, I know from past experience. So, without further ado, I would usually have a promo video done, an intro video, completely blanked out of my mind. Like, literally, the second I got home, it was gone. Like, it left me making this thing. Well, speak of timing. Hello, PK. Thank you for raiding on in with your 6 pairs of eyes. Buffy in that secondary raid. I see you there, Buffy. Thank you for the care package. Hello, and welcome on in, Melody, Alex, and of course, PK. What were you guys playing? Was it a cursed game this time around? I'm curious. Oh, thank you for the follow, Brian. And that should have been working. It actually was working, but apparently not. I don't know anymore. I wish I knew. I wish I understood. Literally every other alert works except for that one. So I ain't got the slightest clue. Allow me to check really fast. No, it should have worked. I don't even know at this point. And I'm too scared to ask. Gotta warn you, Iris, I am not what you could expect. Lord Asteroid can give you the brief warning if he wishes. Fair enough. You've decided to play a good game. Good. Arceus, I see. Or Arceus. I prefer to say Arceus. Fun fact, I was thinking about that today, by the way. I don't know. Never mind, that's not important. Oh, you showed off some lore. PK, you're holding out on me. You'll have to show me some of that later, because you know how much I love lore. So, it's a win-win. Okay, I've stalled. We've got our raiders in. Thank you again, both raiders, Astuati and PK Ninja. I appreciate it. I will let you all know and reminder to everybody who is, not stopped on by before. If, for any reason, we don't respond, it's because the interview comes first. I do my best to respond in between questions, but my guest is the most important thing tonight, and I want it to be a comfortable experience for them. So, again, thank you for your patience. And without further ado, introducing our guest for this evening. Oh, I'm down here. It's the one and only Mono.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Mono.
Yes. It is I, the great Mono God of Sheol,
Yes. Indeed.
antimatter deity extraordinaire.
Well, that's wild that you're here then, in the first place, because if you're made of antimatter, how are you sitting here before me?
That's a good question. Do you know how I got here?
Well, it might have been just a touch of that poison that I have put inside of you, but you probably don't remember that.
Well, that all seems right to me.
Yeah, it should check out. And that poison should be, maybe, compelling you to answer some questions for me tonight.
Yes. I'm gonna answer these questions better than anyone else.
Yes, this is
The best
competitive.
that ever was.
Competitive question answering.
Yes. I will win.
Well, Mono, just for tonight, for this special occasion, since you are here on the 18th, the bar behind you has provided you with a complimentary Fiji water that is constantly bouncing. So at any point, any point in the stream, feel free to drink your Fiji water. It's on me.
Well, I'm a little bit thirsty right now. Let me just...
Oh goodness, I've lost it.
Coming to you live.
That was not intentional, by the way.
Oh.
Hold on. I messed up something. There we go. That should have fixed it.
Should I do it again?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it again.
Okay. Oh, I just took a sip, but I'm still a little bit thirsty. Let's try that again.
Yeah, more water.
Oh, it's a little spicy.
Yeah, that is the power of Fiji water, and to boot, completely normal water. So, I hope you enjoy.
I see. Never had it before.
It's a delicacy here on... Anyways, Mono, I have a series of questions for you. And, well, the first one comes from last week's guest, Zephyr Zed. I take it you weren't able to hear what this question was.
I specifically did not watch it, so I wouldn't know what the question was.
Perfect. I applaud your anti-spoilers, if that's the proper term for that. So, it is... Sorry, I don't know if you heard me in the intro, but I am completely brain dead. I am trying to hold it together at the moment because this smoke is killing me.
I see. I understand.
So, if I train wreck my sentences together, that's why. Last week, Zed asked, has there been anything about yourself that you've been able to discover through streaming?
Definitely. I think I would probably have come to the same realization anyway, but through streaming I did more rapidly come to realize that I was non-binary. Because people kept asking me, oh, what are your pronouns? And I thought about it and I was like, oh, any work. That was at first. And then as I continued streaming for longer, I realized I had a pretty definitive preference for they, them, and gender-neutral terms. So definitely that. As well as, I can't even begin to tell you all the weird shit that I've discovered about, like, details between the number 18 the bisect, which is this symbol that's all across me, and the connections between them, which I had no clue existed before I started streaming. There's a lot that I've discovered, although specifically about myself, mostly, the gender stuff.
I see. That's I've not had that experience personally, because for me it was before I started streaming that I decided what I wanted to be the path that I would go down. So it's cool to hear that streaming for you was that path of discovery on what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And you are also they, God, Mono.
Yes.
The one and only.
The one true God.
Yes, exactly. All hail Mono. I pray to Mono every night, and they bless
As
me.
you should.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they bless me with, but it's there, and it happens, so...
Well, you know what they say. Mono helped those who help themselves, so just help yourself and pretend that I'm helping you.
I know somebody who has that exact same mentality. Very, very strange that you're bringing that to the table today.
It's lovely to see so many people in the chat as well. Hello.
Yes. Welcome on in, everybody. The blessings are inscrutable. That's how you know they're good. It's like, would a good example be like the petty revenge type thing, where it is literally, no one would probably ever see this, but it's the opposite. It's just, it's petty helpings.
Petty helpings. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with this.
I don't know. It's a term I just made up, so.
I see.
It's a term to fit this idea of what you do with your blessings.
Why, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a few followers throughout the years. Many years. I've been alive for a long time. Haven't had followers for quite as long. I mean, it varies. Of course, things which are not physical are the best that I can give in inspiration. I can give ideas, I can give visions or concepts, and those can be delivered across this infinitely thin veil between the worlds to my loyal followers out there.
Okay, I see. Do you find yourself growing in power through these followers, or are you always powerful regardless?
Well, there's a difference, of course, in different kinds of power. But in strictly my theurgical, divine power, my power has stayed essentially the same for as long as I can remember.
Okay, I see.
I've grown more adept with it over the years, of course.
Well, I mean, have you been able to adapt to the quote-unquote modern age of the people beyond your dimension?
I've been able to adapt quite well. There is one thing which is very true and is bound to me, which is that one must always remain ever-changing. And in that, they must be ready for change. And to be ready for change means to welcome modernity, no matter its form or shape, in whatever way you choose.
Okay. Now, I don't mean to bring this out early. You know what? I do mean to bring this out early. We're going to ask a hypothetical, theoretical.
Oh boy.
I hope you're ready for this one, because I will be asking you two this stream. But hypothetically, theoretically, how would I go about defeating you in combat? Just hypothetically.
Well, that's a difficult question, isn't it? Because I live over in Sheol. The air is made of antimatter there. If an entity of regular material form were to even exist there, they would be annihilated instantly, and much of the planet with them.
I see.
And likewise, if I were to journey to a place where the air is made of matter, then a similar fate would befall me. Although I'm not entirely certain that would kill me.
Okay.
In the end, at least.
I mean, we exist here now. I mean, I'm sitting across the table from you. Could
Yes,
easily
I'm a
reach
little
out.
confused.
But let's just say, again, hypothetically,
Yes.
theoretically, there was
Hypothetically,
none of
theoretically, if we exist in the same elemental polarity, how would you defeat me? How could anyone defeat me? I'm the great Mono.
It's
I've been
true.
alive for 13 billion years since the beginning of time, before space-time was really itself, even. There I was, in a little egg. Well, You would have to... I suppose at this point, I have to question what exactly it means to defeat.
Yeah, that is a good question, actually.
For much of me could be destroyed, but, well, something else would be left over.
This is true. Well, let's say we'll add on to the hypothetical theoretical. Let's say that the clause of defeating you is subduing you.
Subduing me.
Yes, subduing you to the point where mayhaps you won't be able to do anything else.
There are ways to do that, to restrain me physically. Of course, I also am a shapeshifter, so you would have to assuredly encase me in something like an impenetrable sphere.
Okay.
Which has no gaps I could sneak out of. Although you'd also have to question the strength of such a sphere, such a shield, such a prison.
And I take it that means you don't have any powers of teleportation?
Well, it's a bit complicated, but not as I am right now.
Okay. Now, what if I add on to this hypothetical theoretical? And what if I was able to bring a being in that could prevent you from even thinking about coming within its vicinity? And what if this being, just hypothetically, theoretically, was right in between us today?
Oh?
I have a special guest that has come in. I don't know their name. They wouldn't respond quite well. In fact, they don't really respond at all. But they seem to have held a grudge against you.
No, I know who this is.
And I believe you know them.
I do not. This is heresy. I have never met this. I have never met this ape in my life.
But he's right here though. We're finally at a place where you could meet with him.
No, it can't be.
It's your old longtime friend, the chauffeur.
No, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. There was no monkey in the car. It was Nix. Little Bunger Nix. That's all it was. There was no monkey.
Then how do
Never.
you explain this? Like, why did this monkey come into my studio today just to meet with you?
I knew you were gonna pull this bullshit the moment I walked in here.
Listen, You got pinched with the catchphrase, and this is petty revenge.
I see.
Is that it?
Well,
I refuse to elaborate.
I can explain it this way. I thought it would be funny when I was taking a picture of me laying on top of a car, driving along a hallway, that I could put inside the car. Don't get closer to me. But it did nudge closer to me.
He's listening.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you the falsehood of your existence. You were a cardboard cutout out in a car for a joke about a monkey driving the car that I was on top of. There was no driver. This is the truth. It's all a lie. I've been lying this whole time. I'm a big fat liar who makes things up because they're funny.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes.
Something's happening. He's gone.
And online.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
And all is right with the timeline.
Yeah, it's settled back into place. That was strange. You know, he kind of felt like he was a ghost. Like, he couldn't pass on without at least hearing it from you first.
I see. Dealing with spiritual matters.
What were we talking about?
I think we were talking about how great and illustrious I am.
Oh,
I think that was it.
I haven't even gotten through my icebreaker questions, have I?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, now that we've, whatever happened there, I hope it was not a disturbance to anybody in chat, but Mano, why did you become a VTuber? How did you get from where you were to where we see you today?
How did I become a VTuber? Well, I've been streaming for longer than I was a VTuber. This goes back, of course, so I have to remember. All the way back, I forget exactly when. I think it was March of sometime in 2020, I think. No, it was a little bit later than that. But I had decided I wanted to start streaming. I had the confidence I had built up in myself at that point, so I just bare bones set up a game capture, audio capture, microphone, got myself logged into Twitch, and then I just started going live with basically no tags whatsoever. It was a little bit later on, I think 3 streams in, that I discovered Vroid Studio, and I thought, oh my god, I can be a VTuber, this is incredible. And I had known of VTubers before this. I've been interested in the concept since the birth of Kizuna Ai back in the day, if anyone remembers that day, when people started freaking out. Oh my god, anime is real.
Finally.
Yeah. So I went into Vroid Studio. I already had an obsession with bisects, so I kind of started with that. Just the idea of I wanted the bisect to be a crucial part of the character's design. And this is the true truth. I went and I started editing the textures of the skin, and I was like trying to use the tools in Vroid Studio, trying to get the details right. And then I got so angry that things weren't looking the way I wanted them to be, I selected the color black and colored over everything.
Oh my goodness.
And then I thought, wait a second.
Was born.
This actually looks alright. And so I went through to the other textures, I blacked them out, and then I drew the bisects on and made a little outfit.
Oh my goodness. So
And then that was my first stream. It wasn't even using VC Face, which is the more popular one now. I was using 3teen or 310A. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced.
I vaguely know about that one. Yes.
You could do stuff with poses. It does still have technically some benefits over VC Face, but VC Face's tracking is much better.
Oh yes, and now Vignan before us.
Oh yes.
Yes.
No competition for compared to Vignan.
Oh yeah, not at all. So you came about your form came about from rage. Frustration, more like, but rage is cooler.
Yes. Grief. The sorrow. The guilt of creating something I wasn't satisfied with. So I remade it.
That is something that I never knew, and that's actually really cool.
I have lied about it in the past because I was.
Oh. What was your excuse in the past? I have to know.
In the past, I, with whimsy, I would say, I had a brilliant flash of divine inspiration, and I colored it in black. And I thought, this looks better than before. And so, no, you see, it's not entirely false. But it's not entirely true either.
Yes, so this is the true truth.
Yes.
I say the poison's working its magic then.
Yes. One of many myths to be dispelled this evening.
So, mayhaps you can tell me about a different myth. First off, why does Headpad Hand avoid you? Secondly, where did you come up with the name Mono?
Good questions. Well, apparently the Headpad Hand avoids me because I've never thought to actually include it on my own channel.
There we go. I've disciplined him.
I see. They got scared of direct contact.
They got the antimatter glove. It's fine.
Yeah. As for the name Mono, it has a distant root. It's a name I've used for a while. I've used many names, many names. And occasionally one of the ones I kept bouncing off of was Mono. So a long time ago, I chose the name. This is the difficult thing, because of course also with the word mono, there's other things that I've learned about it since I chose it. And those confuse me a bit. But the original reason I chose the name Mono was a little bit of a self-deprecation, admittedly, of I felt that I was absolutely terrible at using color in my art. So I called myself Mono, as in monochrome. And I also felt that my voice was very monotone at the time. And so then again, Mono. And that's where I originally plucked it from. And it was my username on Discord for a while. And since then, I went from the previous name of Western Comet to now Monochrome TV, hence Mono, which makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
And now also relates to monochrome, not just and no longer monotone, I'm happy to say.
Yes.
Although I still have doubts of my ability to use color in my art, although I have gotten better, of course.
I mean, hey, practice makes better. Not necessarily perfect, but better.
Yes. Oh, are you saying I'm not perfect?
You are perfect, my liege.
Good.
Yes, real ones, real homies, remember Western Comet.
Yes.
I wish I went back and I pulled this up, but again, time constraints and exhaustion. But I do remember the very, very first time that I ever interacted with you, and it was in a silly little lore post. And
I remember this.
Yes, I seem to remember that you you transmitted your streams from extremely far away in the hopes that it would reach us.
Well, of course, I live over in Sheol. It's quite difficult to send much of anything through that inconvenient barrier. But
true.
you know, a few satellites here and there, a secret satellite that was built into Sputnik that nobody else knows about, and the Soviet Union forgot about when it collapsed, means that I can now stream myself and connect myself to this wonderful universe that so many creatures are from.
You got that extra planar broadband.
Oh yes.
I see.
Has surprisingly few problems.
Very little. The Soviets have no idea what technology they wield, but it's okay. We will pretend
it all got
we don't
lost.
know about it. Yeah. What technology? I don't know a thing. Now, what type of content do you create? Because I know that you play a variety of games. I know you most through Terraria, as you one of the games you played the most.
I have played a lot of Terraria. I did a little bit of a playthrough, but still, compared to how much Minecraft I played at the beginning, it doesn't compare. It's like comparing a pinch of salt to a mountain. Because it took... I created multiple mod packs, but the one I mostly played through while I was streaming was this one called The Age of Steel, and it ran on and on because I had intentionally made progress really slow because I wanted things to take a while to get done in the hopes that it would make the server it was on last longer. It didn't. But over the course of several in-game years, I successfully created the first train and set up the first transport network before everything went cold and I just left it behind. And then I moved to another Minecraft mod pack called The Great Dark, and I kept doing that one. And the goal of that one was to explore a universe that I had spent fucking months creating, and that thing ran into the ground too.
No.
That one, though, I'm trying to recreate. I won't say too much about that, though, since it's in the working stages, but I was very dissatisfied with it to make it better.
I see. Because I know in the interim you've been working on modding some Minecraft things. I'm not entirely sure what you're doing because, frankly, I don't know anything about Minecraft modding, but... I see.
A few things. I have made a mod before. It's not uploaded anywhere, so you can't really find it. But on the Age of Steel server and the one before that I wasn't able to stream because my computer hardware was too poor to do so. In fact, I remember actually, it was exactly after I switched computers to the one I'm using now that I started streaming. Because the previous one just could not. It couldn't even record in OBS at the lowest settings.
Oof.
Yeah. But the previous one, that was called the Streaky server. And that one was the most successful one that I ran. I wish I had it recorded because it had an incredible lore and story that I went through and I got everyone's perspectives from. One day I hope to tell the story, although it's still scattered in a million pieces. So for that, I created the Streaky mod, which emulates the effects of the Streaky server, which is that if you kill someone, then you can take one of their 3 lives. And of course, if you run out, then you become a ghost. And because I'm who I am, I also made it so eating the heart makes you lose your humanity, which makes you use a different magic system, which I also designed inside a plugin. It has a dynamic spell casting system, so you can make your own spells with and then design 2 trees of spellcasting, Savik and Galdic, with different effects. and then I transferred it to a mod so that I could use a different version of 1.12.2, since the other one was constricting which mods I could use. And so now, with the Great Dark, sorry to talk over it,
No,
I guess it is an interview. Now, with the Great Dark, I'm revisiting all of these planets that I painstakingly designed and that I got these visions of ideas for. The main one I want to redesign, it was originally called Zajabise, but I've renamed it to Ashamos, which is Greek for ugly.
A fitting name. I assume that it's a...
Well, here's the thing. It orbits a star which has an anomalous property that makes anything that's written about the star gradually distort over time to denounce the star and anything associated with it. So the planet is named Ugly because it orbits the most terrible star in the galaxy.
I see. So, to make that explanation short, are you going to become a full-fledged Minecraft streamer when you get that all set up again?
I don't want to say fully fledged. I have too much fun with other games, but Minecraft is the old horse I know the best.
Mm-hmm.
I could at any moment start doing Monocraft Mondays and then do whatever. But I want it to be something special and unique, and so I want to have these mods made for it. I want it to be something you can't see anywhere else. And even then, I fully intend to do more types of streams. I just cannot, no matter how much I try, restrict myself to one form of art in any way, of streaming any game, or even of just streaming games, or making drawings, making digital art, making 3D models. I always will have ideas for each of them. Can't stop myself from trying to make them.
Yes. I feel you there, and then the projects build up and they get worse, and then soon now you're overwhelmed trying to complete all of them.
Yeah. And you have to set deadlines for yourself, otherwise you won't get any. So it's a struggle, you know.
Oh, yes, I understand fully. So, you asked me this before we started.
Yeah.
You were very, very excited to share this, and I have my finger at the ready. But is there anything special that you've been working on, or any special events that you might be willing to share with us this evening?
I do. I have a stream planned for the 30th of this month. The blue moon, the second full moon this month. I intend, this is the plan, to do essentially an endurance stream with the fan favorite ever, Akra.
Yes.
And of course, Akra shall be doing various things, one after another, and trying to prepare as much as I can for that auspicious day. And I hope that you'll come and see whatever I do get finished by then.
Yes. Y'all better be there. I say this every time, but I genuinely mean it. If you don't show up, I'm going to kill you. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, sorry. There's no two ways about it.
Yes, so go ahead. Please follow Mono. It was funny earlier, actually, Mono. You got a notification somebody followed you, and it showed up on my screen.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
No, it's fine.
Let
It was
me,
really funny.
Let me hide that. There we go. Actually, let me hide all my stream elements, because otherwise you could also see if someone was chatting in my stream chat. Oh, no, wait, they couldn't. I have shield mode. Never mind.
Yeah. Such is the power of Mono.
Yes.
And you can see the followers even through my own stream.
Well, I've made a business on transmitting dimensions. It all makes sense.
This is fair. You are the second person to have a follow bust on through into this stream. Although the first person was a little bit more lewd. We'll see that.
Oh, yes. Well, no, there's still time. We can change that.
Oh, hold on.
We...
What do you mean?
No,
And then
no.
you slowly like scroll in every few seconds.
I'm glad that the audio didn't get captured though, and you didn't get "you got mail" jump scared like I always do when someone follows me.
Yeah, this is why I have you specifically with Video Ninja, not use the audio, because I wouldn't be able to hear all of that. It would scare me. Do you have any other special secrets that you can share with us, or
Special secrets? Well, I do have unfinished versions of that I intended to show off.
oh,
Not many people actually know, or they're the third. Or hold on. Or is the third of us. They are the right-hand branch. And not many people have seen them. Little have they appeared. But back a while ago, they were still undecided on how they would appear. Of course, now they appear in the form most suiting of them, what they represent, and all their aspects, and their prophecy. And I did want to take some time, Mono wanted to take some time to show off the work that had been done all the way back then to get to the final design. And then maybe we could see the current or as well. For a comparison, as many may be unfair.
yes, I would love to see this. Is you need a little bit of privacy, I take it?
Yes, I can do it myself. I will simply quickly shimmy off and come back in the transformed other look.
Oh. You've learned their terrible secret. They were just a bust this entire time. I hear you laughing over there. You can't. Hello, chat. This is a me stream now. We're interviewing Irisu Neo. And how you doing? How's it going? Yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that stream I had? Legs are overrated.
Yes.
Headbad hand, they're not there. I know that you just made good friends with them, but they're missing for a little bit of time. Poor little headbad hand. They do their best, but it's okay. I'll scritch you back. Here you go.
All right.
My favorite redeem.
Shimmying back now.
Oh, yes, I do remember this.
Yes.
I do remember.
So this was the alpha version, you could say, and you'll see it swapping between these different signs on the front. And this is I was experimenting with a different way to show emotions. And so this is smiling as I have a big wide grin on my face, and that is the neutral.
I see.
And then I can go get angry. I can be sad, and icicles appear on my cold shoulders.
Oh.
And what else is there? I can remove it, and you see what you never meant to see.
Yep.
That behind this mask, there truly was just a regular Mono's face. I can be shocked and surprised, and you see a little thing that resembles a... Oh no, wait, yeah, I'm mixing expressions. This is surprise. And then I think angry and surprised is this. What do they call it? The ink blot test thing.
Oh,
Rorschach test.
yeah, Rorschach test.
And then this is joy, which is just smile multiplied with 2 lines. And then to vanish quickly.
Oh, damn! I didn't know you had that technique.
Yeah. I can show off a much more similar. Here, this one saw a lot less. This is the beta version, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And it still has similar aspects, although the headpiece changed. It's still very ornate, as you can tell. I forgot to show off the outfits. This one is very similar to the one we have now, although it is, of course, inverted. And I should also myself up, shouldn't I?
Just a
So
touch.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
there
no
we
feet.
go. No feet. Everyone, quick clip that.
No.
It's over.
And I have the little claw hands as well, which did make the final cut. No pun intended. Now I'm going to quickly switch to back to the other one.
Oh.
Because I want to show off its outfit as well.
Now I am curious.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, we got the cameo from Vignan.
No.
I am curious.
And this one. Yeah.
What made you not want to go with these?
Various things. With this one thing is you can see the mask clips with the hair. It's also exceedingly ornate.
Yes.
And as the lines move away from the head, I thought that was not good for the original intention of these horns, which is to literally capture the eyes of the viewer by hypnotically drawing them to the main face. There's lots of ideas here that I like. I really like the talisman thing. Maybe if I got it to work the way I wanted, this would have been the final thing. And in fact, I now know how to make this work with more that I have learned. So perhaps an alternative outfit for Or, we will return to this. And I'll have a little trouble with it, but I'll contact the actual Or model to talk about the final changes.
Okay. Yes. Oh. Down in front, I can't see the Minecraft. It is a very, very big piece, so I would imagine you would have harder time being able to. Oh, I like this. This is scaly.
And this is the original. Or not original, this is the complete model. As we finished it off, cut off all the excess weight that was weighing down my weary head upon my shoulders. Finished up with this new veil with these falling lights. And this wonderful crown of light. All of it is a woven story. And most notably, the difference between this one and the previous iterations, pure white skin.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, has some relation to why Akra is only half white and half black in these colors. And, of course, then these colors, or the lack thereof, depending on how you see it, has some meaning. It has some representation. The specific use of white skin, of course, also meant to help differentiate all the other appearances, as opposed to being confused of whether you are seeing or you are seeing mono in some kind of outfit, which there have been many.
Mm-hmm.
A detail I don't think many people noticed about this model, though, and I'll rob this little bit of time to show it off, is if I take away this veil and you see my eyes, and forgive me, I'm going to get a little bit close.
Oh.
You look very closely. There are stars even in the eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Slowly falling.
I'm becoming entranced.
As intended, of course. And then this is, of course, an evolution of that original design with the light moving away from the model, causing that failure in reception, the retaining viewership directly on the model. Then this is an alteration. The light still move away, but they never leave the domain.
Yes, I see what you're going for there.
Yeah. And of
Model-
course, as the... Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I want to see the outfit.
Yes, zooming out to show off the final outfit. Lighting's different because the previous two were VRMs. It was before I had really gotten... Or no, not both. They were essentially both VRMs. One of them was an experiment with Oyomi shaders. And this is final design in inversion of the evolved design, with some differences on things like the central crest, which instead of being some vague set of symbols is now become, I believe this is the seed of life, connected to two leaves. And the lighting has been fixed, so it is now much more high quality. And the hands have the sharp fingers of the alpha version rather than the more dainty but still pointy bits, the beta version.
A lot like me and my pointy hands.
Oh, why yes, we can be pointy hand buddies.
I was going to say that model design is surprisingly complex. Not talking just specifically about yours, but all the things you have to consider when it comes to drawing the viewer back to your face, the focal point of everything that you are.
It is an art, as are all things. And I'll go ahead and give this vessel to, or rather, Mono and Akra. They've just decided to come here together.
I see. Oh, you're gone. Okay. Now that we have these,
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. It was Mono all along.
Oh, yes. It's all me.
Always Mono. But... As
Akra said, every one of us, all three are, but Mono himself, specifically Mono, the middle branch, from which both branches, left hand and right hand, branched from. And does that sound familiar?
Oh, a little bit, yes.
A left and a right and a center. Maybe a symbol that comes to mind. I won't tease anymore.
Well, Mono, now that you're here with us,
yes.
What would you do if you weren't Mono? What if you were something else instead? And I mean outside of Akra and Or. I mean specifically a different model altogether, a different character.
I think about this definitely, because as much as oh, hello everyone.
Hello, Squid.
Oh, I'm getting the you got mail alerts now.
Let's go.
Thank you to whoever that was. I, as much as I have love for this monochromatic design, I do sometimes love how much it restricts me in certain things. There are a lot of things you can't do with black and white. I like the challenge generally of seeing what I can do rather than focusing on, oh, I can't have heterochromia. Although I kind of have that with Akira in the sense of the eyes are, again, the word color loses a bit of meaning.
It is. I understand what you're going for, though, like what you mean in that
yes.
regard.
One of Akira's sclera is black, and on the black sclera, the iris is white. And so in that way, it is heterochromia, and I have that aspect. I can represent it, and often there are these things. However, I wish to do whatever, some way of representing it in black and white that still works. I've had a lot of ideas for what I might want to do if I ever decided to, quote unquote, rebrand. Well, I really like capybaras. This is something that those who are close to me know.
Yes.
So offhandedly, I've thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to be a capybara VTuber? But that goes out the gate pretty quickly because I feel like I'd be too restricted by just being a regular animal.
Fair enough.
A little bit of an interesting thing. Originally, I wasn't intending on being a god. Originally, I had two sets of lore that I was fighting with, but the god one eventually won out between them. It evolved out of the second one. The first one was, I thought, I'll be a demon. And that makes sense. And then I can do whatever I want, because demons can look like anything. But then I looked at the time, the VTubing landscape, and I saw how many demons there were and everything that was already connected with them. And I didn't feel drawn to it anymore. The other idea that I had, which I leaned into a lot more at the beginning, and this was kind of the secret lore that I have since abandoned and has had no consequence technically, is that I was going to be a pattern screamer. If anyone knows stuff about SCP and what a pattern screamer is. But specifically, the idea is before the universe, there was a void, and these things called pattern screamers existed there. When the universe was created, they were not able to enter it, trapped outside. My sort of idea is that Mono is a pattern, a fractal that is different to the one that the traditional universe, I call it Multith, as opposed to my Sheol. That's essentially the idea that I started with. And then I got more ideas, and I got the idea of pretty early on of wanting the or antimatter creation to be a part of the character, to be their one of their powers. And then I've put a lot of thought into that. It's tough because, of course, I haven't rebranded, but I've had lots of ideas of things that I could do. I've thought, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if I did something more like a xenomorph? Because I really like those as well. Or specifically a much more alien design. But yeah. And then the main thing that irks me is there's a lot of outfits that rely pretty heavily on color that I can't pull off just because of, well, my color scheme, or lack thereof. I can't really wear a red dress, can I? It would look...
I mean, maybe not red, but I could see a long white dress at the bare minimum.
Long white, yes, that would work because that's one of the colors.
Yeah, it's one of the colors. Clearly, it's red. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, what if, and I think this would be very mono-pilled of you, you turned on stream and it was like one of those pre-usable bottles that you can
Oh,
find
God.
anywhere, and it's just the average Joe Schmo.
Oh, yes. I see it now in my mind's eye.
You are undercover. You are infiltrating the material plane.
Yes.
Your bias is showing, Irisu, and I share it. Listen, Mono can wear whatever they want, but a dress would be nice.
Yeah. I did a winter outfit and I had a dress.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. If I'm not mistaken, I think you shared at least some of it at one point.
Yeah. I did it for, it was my outfit for Anonymous
Yes.
sometime around last year, December of last year, so almost, that's a long time ago now.
Mm-hmm. And we're almost there. Are we going to see the return, the update?
An update, yes.
Perfect.
I do intend to do that. As soon as I made it, I had the idea of doing a different outfit for each actual season. And I, so far, kind of have been doing that anyway, but they haven't been specifically associated with the season.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
much.
I mean, what can you do for the other seasons? Because I feel like broadly for Christmas, the close to the Santa outfit is fine-ish.
Well, this is one thing though. Is I also another restriction on my design. Specifically, want to keep to the idea. Mono, the character, is not from Earth at all. They don't have any attachment to the idea of Christmas. That's not what they did during the winter. They didn't wait for a jolly red man to come and give them presents. They went out and chopped down trees or did whatever.
Fair enough. So, that leads me... You know what? Before I ask that question,
yes.
I always have the final question of these icebreakers, which is, when you come home, or when you get onto the computer, and you get ready to be Mono, what does being Mono mean to you?
This question. Well, it's become more complicated over the years, definitely. In the beginning, it was just a 3D model. Now I just find myself identifying it with much more. And the name Mono, whatever names I've had before. What does it mean to be Mono? It means to be absolutely perfect in every single way.
Flawless.
But of course, I was always like that.
Yes.
Yes. I guess. I mean, of course, it is a bit of a vague question. To humor it. To sit down and to be Mono, for me, means to make things and try to put as much of myself into them as possible. To try and create, not in a perfectionist way, but to try and create my best work. Is to be Mono is also, as I said in the beginning, is to honor my creed to be ever-changing. And so in this, there's been some connections to lore as well, and this and that. I think it's also a bad idea to put too much of yourself in your lore. When you put yourself into your work, it becomes inevitable, I think, that part of you gets shown in it. So I guess I might say... I might say that for me, to be Mono is to try to embody the idea of a perfect creator, of a god. that's kind of the idea I was going for when I started, and I think I kind of stick by that.
The god of your own creativity in terms of
Yeah.
it's like this is gonna be a goofy example, so I apologize for this one.
No
But
apologies.
Shigeru Miyamoto and his game Super Smash Brothers, because very lightly the premise of Master Hand and Crazy Hand are that they are his hands, the things that he has
Right.
molded, and the aspects that he loves in terms of toys, where one creates and the other destroys, and he is his own god. He is the villain of Super Smash Brothers.
Yes, I suppose that's... Well, I don't see destruction and creation. I suppose I would see... well, maybe I would say this. There's a hand of destruction and creation, but together they make the hand of transformation, because that's all there really is.
That's a good way of putting it. Actually, a side that I don't think I've ever really considered. Thank you, Matt Pat, for keeping my views self-centered when I watched that video, but oh well. Alright. Mono. Not a lot of
Yes.
people know. Well, I know, but not a lot of people know where you're from. Tell me, what is Sheol? And what is it like in Sheol for you?
This is a good question. Sheol is my domain that I have existed in for as long as I have existed, which is to say, from the beginning of time, or as far as I can tell. Sheol is a parallel universe which I seem to have found has started at the exact same time as Malkuth, or the Matter universe, the one you're familiar with, streaming to, generally. It is... And antimatter and matter exist in both universes, but one exists dominantly in one and the other. When I have reached out and felt Malkuth, the way I described it is that in the invisible dance of quarks constantly creating and annihilating themselves faster than thought, rather than in Sheol, where the anti-particles were leading the dance, or in Malkuth, it was the matter particles that were leading the dance. And that has resulted in these two different versions of universes, which also have the rather drastic difference of having, in one, just me, and in the other, an entire host, at least one full planet, of living creatures, of ideas and aspirations.
So, I mean, I could speculate on that all day, so I might wait and hold
Oh,
that
yes.
question a little bit for later. You are, as far as you are aware, the deity of this realm.
Of Sheol.
Of Sheol,
Yes.
How
As
do
far
you-
as I'm aware,
Yeah.
I'm the deity, yes.
How do you know that?
Well, another very good question. I don't, really.
You could just do things
I-
in the realm and it happens.
Well, again, I've never really needed a word for it until I discovered all of you. But since it was still during the time of the quark soup, before existence was anything like it is now, I say at the age of 18 because it's my favorite number, but sometime very early on, I figured out how to manipulate the quantum field. And the first thing I did is I created a little boat. And from that point, over my many years, have become more skilled in using that power. And to me, it is a very regular. Your drink is too cold or too hot? Just shake its particles to make it more hot, or still them down to cool them. Oh, you want to make water? Well, just think about how you would create it at the quantum level, and then let that creation flow through. And visualize exactly how you want it to be. And there it will be, in front of you, the water you wish to have. I'm also pretty hard to get rid of, as far as I can tell. For some ungodly amount of years, pun intended, was trapped in the gravity well of a sun, constantly burning for a very, very long period of time. And now I would be able to escape that gravity well, but at the time I was not adept enough at using my own power to get myself out of that situation, and so I had to wait for the star to die, which, as you might imagine, takes a while. And then I was swimming around in its nebula, finally trying to find a different place where I could settle down. So I go and I start entering my digital age, and I finally reach out and I make contact with some kind of signal. I figure out eventually, sometime in early 2000s, how to make the connection. And I connect, and I start learning about this wonderful world full of these things called humans, and all their ideas, all the other spirits that inhabit their world. And then I keep hearing over and over and over about these gods that can create from nothing. So that is why I call myself a god. Rather long-winded explanation, but I hope that explains it.
Yes, that answers it very well. Zed saying you can't synthesize water sounds like a skill issue.
I can synthesize water. I can.
From your perspective, it's from your point of view.
Yes, from my perspective, it's kind of weird that you can't just decide. Well, it's not really deciding. You have to focus a bit. You can't create it. You can't transform the. There isn't really a word for it in English. Transform the soup around you into water. Whatever it was that was before the universe, you can't grab that, and you can't make it into water. That's weird to me.
Alchemy moment. Now, you also discovered another form of creature that seems to have, I guess, become the apple of your eye. Capybaras.
Oh, yes. Delightful little creatures. They aren't sentient, but they are pretty good.
They.
Little. I like to call them. I think they look like chicken nuggets, so I like to call them chicken nugget dogs.
Yes, that is an appropriate name.
Yeah.
What do other people call them? They're like cow dogs or something. Like
I've never heard.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wild and making that up in my brain.
I love watching and I think more people should do this. I think people get too fed up with, oh gosh, I'm wasting time not watching whatever, instead of, or I shouldn't be watching animal videos. I could be watching something more productive. It's productive. Go sit down. Whatever your favorite animal is, go look up capybara or pintarong or dog or cat, and look up a bunch of videos of them just existing, just having a good time. Watch those for a while, you'll be in a much better mood, and you'll be able to do whatever you want, and you'll be energized, and you'll be excited, and you'll be happy. It's a cheat code.
You gotta overcome that mental boundary, but with the help of some furry friends, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Are capybaras worth divine glory? I'm not a god, and I say yes.
I am one, and I say yes.
There we go. The consensus has been reached. This is true. Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
you mentioned before that people cannot easily enter your realm as you cannot easily enter ours because, well, antimatter on matter violence is real.
Yes, to an extreme degree. I did the math once, and at minimum, if I were to suddenly pop into anywhere on Earth, because the exchange of quantum annihilation is directly to energy, and I am a being made of a lot of antimatter, relatively at least, that the explosion that would be caused would be worse. I can't even describe it because it would be worse than any nuclear device that has ever existed. And I can't even say it'd be 100 times worse than the Tsar Bomba, at least, because no one could even conceive of that. But the Earth, whatever planet it was, would have an enormous crater. It would have the atmosphere would be absolutely decimated. It would never be the same again. Needless to say, it would be quite poor. But go on.
I see. So it is one instantaneous explosion until that matter is used up. Because what I think about is, I believe it's brown mold. It's either brown mold or brown moss, in the lands of Faerun, D&D, where it grows when it touches flames. So if you threw it into the plane of fire, it would expand indefinitely until it consumed the entire plane. So
that sounds a bit different, but something like that. There is the one thing I haven't calculated is if I was teleporting directly into an area like material, then objectively just the entire planet would be destroyed. But with things like air pressure, would be a more likely thing is there would be an explosion, a large one still, very large, and then there would be an enormous vacuum that all the air would then swoop in to try and fill, and then there would be subsequent detonations as each layer of air annihilated with the antimatter which I'm composed of.
I see.
Yeah.
What's wrong with destroying the occasional planet? Well, a lot of things, especially for Mono, because
Yeah, I don't know of any other sentience. Yeah.
Humans are fun, and all the capybaras would die. That's the important part.
Yes, we can't let that happen. They have to go to the moon first.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we all know the moon is habitable, so.
Yeah.
Duh.
You can't breathe in space?
Oh, skill issue.
You're telling me you need oxygen?
Now, are there things other than you and or an Akra in Sheol? Or is it just you that is allowed to exist in there?
A very good question. And I think only I, Akra, can really answer. This is something Mono doesn't know, really. Well, there is something Mono knows. There are the worms. The 9 worms, or some 8. And they are the closest things, the 8 I should say, at least, are the closest things to living things that dearest Mono has ever been able to create. The 9th I am not to speak of. I am not allowed to. And throughout the rest of Sheol, there is still plant life. Plant life is quite an accurate term. It's an entirely different tree of evolution. There are trees, but they are simply designed to mimic what your trees look like. They aren't truly the same. And there are things that we call fungus and mushrooms, but they are, at some levels, still different. This is the state of Sheol as it is. And these worms, as they've been designed, they are more like digital constructs. And they are forced, or rather can only, obey the laws that created them. That's worms with a Y, I see you.
I was gonna make the joke because you had your fishing stream that
yes.
You can't.
Well, this was the joke the whole time, or the foreshadowing, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we specifically said that and in this case, it was true. 8 worms were possessing the 8 fish species, which were within Lake Abzu.
So, can you not speak of the 9th because you never caught it?
That is not why. We put them in there. We have access to the 8. The 9th I cannot speak of because the deal that I have made with, and till certain times have been met, neither I nor can tell you who the 9th is.
I see. You are holding it over my head and holding it out on me.
Yes.
I guess, technically, my poison is only affecting Mono, and not you. So, I appreciate it that you told me so much.
There's only so much that I can. I would say more if I could. But
okay.
there are some things even a god cannot do once they've agreed to do something.
So, now that we're on that topic, Mono.
Yeah.
Also, hello.
Oh, hello.
What do the 3 of you do? What is your role and Aura's role and Aqua's role in Sheol?
Well, that would be hello again. Again, not something Mono can truly answer, but not for lack of trying. Akra, myself, I describe myself as the preserver of the things that they are. Or is the destroyer, the annihilating light. And Mono themselves is the creator. This is the way we have ordered things. And so, it is as such. Creates, I preserve, and or destroys. These have been our roles. Does that answer your question? Or are you asking more day to day?
I mean, yeah, if you have like any hobbies that the 3 of you like to do individually, I mean.
Oh, well, I like sewing.
Oh, yes.
Like to read books. Like to go on internet dives. I think that's all very fun. Although, of course, I have been bound to the moons personally, so I'm rather restricted on what time I do have. Though I hope to change that eventually.
And what do you do on the day-to-day, Mono?
Oh, I do a lot of stuff. I mean, the little deal I have set up where I'm able to allow Akra to take over to answer questions for me when I can't. I had to set that all up just hours before the stream started up. I did it today, and there were so many issues. And so, generally, I do things to prepare for stream. A lot of things. I've gotten more into the idea of trying to create mods specifically for streams to do various things that I think would be funny, because, of course, you don't expect a mod is always unexpected. And so you can have lots of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can make things work in a subtle way. And I make art of all forms. I draw, I paint, I 3D model. I have lots of things in the works at all times, and I simply let my energy move me to whatever I am most interested in. That is generally how my creative works, although at times I have to really tie myself in, and I have one project set. It's not that I can't say much about it, it's that I don't think we have enough time, because it's a whole other bag of worms. Called The Witch of Mogwai Mountain, and I'm expecting to work on that for 3 years at least. It's a game. It's supposed to be a fully fledged game, but I need to do a lot of stuff before it's able to be completed. And a lot of that is just writing, and a lot of writing. So that's what I spend a lot of my time doing. I, of course, also am working on, as with my background as a programmer, although now I see myself more akin to an engineer or a designer rather than just a programmer. The most important part of programming is, before you program, figuring out how you want something to be. Because you can say something like, and I said this yesterday, I would love a mad scientist immersive sim. And everyone will say, oh, that's a great idea. I would love to see that done. But then the details of what that actually means, all the mechanics, all the balancing everything and getting the graphics and getting the sound and the everything to work correctly and to be homogeneous with each other and build off of each other. That's really what design is. It's not going in and making it. And so I spend a lot of my time, even as I'm working on other things. The thing I do the most is trying to think of how I want something to be, so that once I figure out how I want it to be, I finally go and make it, because that's the easy part.
Okay. PK's saying the next most important part is not crying while you code.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tears will ruin your programming keyboard, and they might get your programming socks dirty.
Oh god, that would be terrible.
No, I can't work without those.
This keyboard I have now is after the last one was destroyed after I water.
Oh, no.
Anti-water, specifically.
Yes. Your material keyboard destroyed by anti-materials.
No. It served me for so many years. Most of my life I used that keyboard, and I spilled some water on it and the W key stopped working.
No.
Or was it the A key? I think it was both, actually.
Go ahead, Mano. Have some more of your Fiji water.
Oh, yes.
This may be the only time you get to taste it in this form. Damn, I didn't realize that Fiji water sounded like you were drinking from a cup.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, that's just how it is. You thought about drinking from a cup, but with Fiji water, and Now that you've made it happen.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think you know what time it is, Mono.
Do I?
Oh yes, this is a segment that you enjoy. And I think you've gotten the most joy out of. And well, I do have to do the formal introduction to this thing because you know how voice work is. It needs to be perfect. The little silly streamer bot doesn't know what to do unless I tell it specifically. So, introducing a new segment called Hypothetical Theoretical.
Oh,
I have a hypothetical theoretical question for you, Mono. And, well, just so you know, these questions are bullshit in every way, shape, and form, but I'm sure you already know that, since you've put in your fair share into this Discord channel.
3, I think, yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
My question for you, and I will remember this time, I did forget last time to say who it was that asked this question. Hypothetically, theoretically, what if you wanted a glass of lemonade, but you didn't have any lemonade? What then?
Well, well, firstly, I couldn't just create it because, or I could, but it would be hard because lemons, especially, or lemon juice, is chemically very complicated compared to just water. But I would get some water. I would get the closest thing to a lemon I have, Sheol, a modified gawa. And I would juice it, and I would get myself. It wouldn't be lemonade technically; it'd be gawa-aid.
Okay. Any sugar, any preservatives that you would add?
I don't usually go for sugar in my drinks.
Fair enough. Well, you know, you would be surprised to know, because this question doesn't end here. In fact, this question was purposely picked out because the one who asked it was Pinch. And I understand that the two of you have a history when it comes to lemonade wars.
Oh yes, I do.
Yes,
A venturing business person of good faith and meager fortune, I went onto the streets with my little cart, and I pedaled it over, and I said, "Hello, everybody. Does anyone want some lemonade for this day?" And then I started giving people lemonade. They gave me little coins. It was a great time. It was delightful. And then Big Pinch stumbled over, and they took one look at my lemonade stand, and they said, I can't do a Pinch impression. Why are you putting bone dust in that? And I said, to give them calcium. And then they set up a rival lemonade stand to try and put mine out of business, and they slandered my name. I was a good citizen doing everything in my rights, and they said it was immoral because I was putting bone dust in it. I just said, that's for the people's health.
Well, I guess the question becomes, whose bones did you grind down?
Oh well, that was of course just some skeletons. There's a lot of them in that place. This was specifically in the cursed castle. Lots of skeletons there.
This is true.
I just grabbed a little bit of greenery and grinded it down.
But you know, what about me? I like the skeletons. Did you take any of my favorites?
Yeah. Any of your favorites?
You didn't touch
I'm
Grigori
sure
now, did you?
Well, I can't remember. Maybe yes, once or twice. It's just convenient
Well,
when
lucky
they're
for
walking.
you, the unspoken statute of limitations has lifted. I guess it's different in Wallachia, so you get to walk away scot-free this time.
As I should. I did nothing wrong.
It all checks out. Mono did nothing wrong. Okay. All right, you all
Hashtag
with us.
Mono did nothing wrong. Get on Twitter.
Hashtag Mono sweep. Hashtag Mono did nothing wrong.
Yes.
Can't go 2 feet without tripping over a skeleton. It's true. All right, well, that is a very good answer. I'm sure Pinch will be pleased.
I'm certain.
100%. You know what they say. It's pinching time. So,
Yes. It's their catchphrase.
speaking of which, I think it's about time that I was going to do like an ad read version of going to the break screen. Like, let's pinch on over to the...
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if I could make that work. So yes, let's take a really quick break. We'll stand up, get some good stretches in, and if anybody has any questions for Mono,
Why are they back?
oh, I didn't even notice them there.
I mean, I've never seen this ape in my life. What's an ape doing here?
Yeah, what?
Did you let this into the studio?
I don't know. He's surprisingly well behaved.
I mean, if they're not supposed to be here, we should get them out, right?
Yeah, you're right. Hold on. Let me just.
Oh wait, I know the perfect thing to say.
Oh.
For going to break.
Yes.
Let's blow this lemonade stand.
All right, I'll take this monkey out of here and throw him.
Enough monkeying around.
Enough monkeying around. All right, we will see you all in just a little moment. If you have any questions for Mono, make sure to prepare them, and we'll ask when we get back.
Yee.
All right. And we are back. Well, what's this chair
Oh,
doing
hello.
here? Get this chair out of here.
Huh, that's... I didn't remember there being a chair there. That's weird.
Yeah, that chair, not real. Didn't happen. It's fake.
Someone must have moved it up here during the break for some reason. That's weird.
Yeah, that's... Daphne sure is being strange lately.
Yes.
The what brought it in, Squid? There was an orangutan in here? What the hell?
Orangutan? What are you talking about?
My chat likes to play tricks on me from time to time, but I will not be defeated. I will overcome your little antics this time, chat.
See, we can't be gaslit because we know we're right.
Oh yes, 100%. Speaking of gaslighting, but not mono, Ellie has a great question for you. Ellie Azure from Nova Swarm.
Oh, yes.
She wants to know, have you tried using a barcode scanner on yourself at any point? And if so, what item came up?
A barcode scanner. Well, we don't have supermarkets in Shield. So I've never really needed one.
Okay, let's tweak the question. We can make this question doable.
Yeah. If I was a barcode, if I was a barcode and I was scanned, what item would I be?
Yes.
Let's see. Well, that's quite tough. What do they sell at a supermarket that I could even conceivably be related to?
Apples.
Apple.
Apple.
I guess maybe a dragon fruit.
Okay, that is a very unique answer. I like it.
Yeah.
Any stores can use barcodes like Best Buy. This is true. It's not limited
This is
to.
true. That's
it's not
true. That's
limited
true.
to food.
So any sellable object.
Yes.
If you scanned Mono's mask as a barcode, well, there's a lot of options then, isn't there? Everything that's ever been listed with barcode is now an option.
I thought you were about to say it scans in every item in existence.
I'll say... Oh, it's tough.
But it's also a great question.
It is a good question. I wish I had more time to think about it, because there's just too many options. I could say, oh, my latest obsession. Lab coats, especially the ones that have the buttons on the one side, like every mad scientist has. I think they're called Howie style lab coats. I don't actually know why though. Or I could say, as I said, a dragon fruit, which I mostly chose a little bit due to its name, but mostly due to the fact that it's always the weirdest thing in the supermarket.
That, you know what? I think dragon fruit is the one to go with then.
Yeah. It isn't black and white. I struggle to... Oh, no, what am I saying? It's so obvious now. You scan my mask with a barcode reader, you know what you get? A monochrome TV.
I love... I could feel the switch click in your brain. You knew. Yes. All right. Well, there you have it. The monochrome.
The truth
TV.
reveals itself.
Yeah, all along those gears were turning. Oh shoot! Did dancing time not turn off like it was supposed to?
Oh.
Do we have a second helping of dancers? Yes, there's Subaru in the corner. You win this round, chat. You win this round. You get one capybara plushie. Okay, that's fair.
Yay!
That's also fair. Thank you for the hydrate.
I love my little capybara. They're over there. I point, but you can't see. They're off
Alright.
camera, you see.
Yeah, they've been supporting Mono this whole time from the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Alright. Table wants to know, if I turned on colorblind mode, does it hit a stack underflow and I just see every color at once?
A colorblind mode?
I'm sure that's not actually how it works, Table, but...
That's not. Colorblind mode doesn't change black and
Hold
white.
on, wait, I can fix this. Hypothetically,
They are colors.
theoretically.
Hypothetically. There we go. Perfect.
That would make sense.
You would gain the ability to see ultraviolet.
Okay.
That's what would happen.
Do you have an explanation?
Hypothetically, theoretically.
Yeah, okay.
Just because they're colors that are impossible to see otherwise.
Okay.
So if you're... I guess it does make a little bit of sense, because if I don't have any color on me, then the color blind mode to be... It is saying that you can't see colors that don't exist means that you can see every color that does exist. There we go.
Alright, that's unacceptable. I like that answer. Buffy wants to know, would a mantis shrimp be able to see any colors on you? Hypothetically, theoretically.
Hypothetically, theoretically. I have half joked, and I kind of am undecided on whether I want to sing, but I have half joked that the white parts aren't actually white, they're ultraviolet, in reference to how many purple VTubers there are. That way I can say that I'm an honorary purple VTuber.
In heart and spirit, you are a purple VTuber.
Yes.
Okay. Blaze wants to know, you said that matter interacting with antimatter can cause explosions. Is there any way you could learn to control or harness this power for yourself?
It exists. You couldn't make something like a reactor, as far as I can tell. But the exchange rate is 1-to-1, which means it's exactly as... The exchange is exactly as dangerous as much as you put in.
Okay.
But it's a one-time reaction. So, I mean, you can... I've used it before to just destroy something. You use the big old annihilating light to blast a hole in the side of a wall or something, and it's helpful in construction and whatever. Clearing out a cave or bringing a cave down, so on and so forth. It has destructive utility.
Okay, so you have your uses for it. It's just... whatever happens with it happens at the end of the day.
Yes.
Okay. Another question from Buffy. If you didn't have as much knowledge on the occult and religious things, would you have been a clown?
Would I have... I doubt it, if I'm being realistic.
Buffy.
I am as now as Mono, trickster god. I wear a mask. This is specifically spelt in the way of a certain, I think, Italian theater mask. And so you've brought it up before that as a trickster god, that does make me clown adjacent in some way.
Okay.
But I don't think I would have been a clown if I did not have my knowledge of obsession really with the occult.
Oh my goodness. Ellie asking, what about a mime?
There are some weird similarities there, aren't there?
Yeah. I mean, you can create things out of nothing just by thinking about
Yeah, I
it.
could create things out of nothing by thinking of them, and
Monochrome.
also a primarily black and white color scheme. Ha!
I think we're on to something.
Yes.
Last one from
But
Buffy.
probably not.
Who is your pick in a Mario Party game?
My pick in a Mario Party game. Whenever I have the choice, I like to be Dry Bones,
Okay.
Bowser.
Dry Bones and Bowser, or Dry Bowser?
Or Bowser.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Dry Bones or Bowser. Because
Okay.
sometimes I don't have the option to have the other.
Fair enough. Any particular reasons why you're leaning towards them?
I like villain characters, but also Dry Bones is... I'm not a huge Mario fan, and so just personally, Dry Bones, I always thought it was interesting how they put themselves back together no matter how many times you killed them. And I remember a long time ago, I would just continually jump on top of them to watch them reform themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like torture for them, but it was fun for me, so what does it matter?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they serve our amusement, so.
Yes. Another thing that doesn't really exist in a world with only one entity is morality.
Yep, fair enough.
Who's to
fair
say?
enough. Except for the capybaras.
Oh, yeah. I want to protect them because I personally like them.
It's true. It's your own morality.
Yes.
Table asks, why do they call it oven? When you in the hot, cold food out I didn't even say it right. I'll give it another shot. Why do they call it an oven when you in the cold food and out hot eat the food?
You see, it's because when in hot eat the food you do, warm.
I see. Yeah, that checks out. That checks out. Everybody applause.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very good wisdom. Oh, of course. Warm. Hold on. Actually, I do have everybody, if you would please really quickly check your redeems. I do have an applause redeem. I'll only turn it on for a minute. I don't know how loud it's going to be. There it is.
Raucous applause, just as I should have.
Alright, put your hands together. They're done. Put them down. Let's see.
You can close them in prayer later.
Oh, yes. Tamano.
Tamano.
I know Table has another. The applause has kicked Chad up. Zephyr Zed wants to know, as a god, do you have any devoted followers? Do you answer prayers?
I do. These days, I don't have many. I do have at least 1 or 2 devoted followers, truly devoted. I have many followers, and I love each and every one of them. I do have 1 or 2 devoted ones, which do things within my name. As for prayers, I do what I can. Again, I live in a parallel dimension, so there's limits to the effect I can have. I can't materialize things in my truth, for instance. I can only really do it in the wherever I am aware of, which usually is just around me. And what was the question? Was I've lost my train of thought. Could you repeat it? Sorry.
As a god, do you have any devoted followers? And do you answer any prayers?
And like any good god, or any at all, I will always answer prayers whenever it is personally convenient for me to do so.
Fair enough.
And otherwise, I will just say that I'm helping you while you help yourself.
Fair enough. Honestly, that's based.
Yeah.
The last question from chat, it looks like. In case I missed one, please let me know if I did. Could you theoretically Wile E. Coyote through a wall? I would say yes.
I mean, not really. It is a little outside my scope. I'm not a cartoon character like Ardea Pinch.
It's true.
I can't within 3 seconds quickly paint a picture perfect painting of a tunnel and run through it while my pursuer runs after me and tries to run through it, and then they hit it. It is not within my powers.
We don't have the ability to pinch in time.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Mono, I have 3 questions for you. And these are the big ones, the ones that we're always excited about at the end of the interview. So,
oh boy.
My first question is, if you could ask the next interviewee anything, what would you like to ask them?
I made sure to write this down. This is something it's similar to something I asked myself time. Sorry, there was something in the air there. If you had infinite time to pursue any of your passions, what would you make? Oh, hello.
If you had infinite time to pursue one of your passions, what would you make?
Yeah.
I like this question. Welcome on in, Lols. Thank you for stopping on by. How did your stream go? Can you understand the power of love? Mono, can you understand the power of love?
Oh, why, of course.
Perfect.
It's a delightful thing.
It's true. This is true. I love the power of love. It makes us do weird things. My second question for you, Mono, is...
Yes.
Well, okay, first, Squid wants to know, do you love us, Mono?
Of course. I love each and every one of you.
You know what? I'm going to interject.
With all my heart.
If it was us or a capybara... Okay, hold on. Okay, we're taking it back. A new segment.
Yeah.
Hypothetical, theoretically. Hypothetically, theoretically. There are 2 train tracks and there's a trolley going down them. And on one end is all of the capybaras on the planet. And on the other one is all of the humanity. Which one would you let the trolley hit?
Ideally, there are 1 or 2 humans the world would be better without, but if it's one or the other, as much as I love capybaras, I do love humans more. So I would very sadly condemn them.
Everyone's disagreeing with you. But I see where you're coming from. Why stop at 2?
True. This is something that I feel strongly about, but I don't talk about as much. And it is another reason why I settled on the God idea, because there's the idea of the Judeo-Christian God, at least, having a divine love thing. Mm-hmm. And I have felt that way specifically about people. I constantly, less these days, but for a long time, was constantly lamenting just the idea that I would not be able to be together with each individual person for the entirety of their lifetimes. There simply is no way, even if one is immortal, to do that.
That is very sweet of you. I feel you on a level that you can't understand quite yet. Okay, my next question for you is, if you were a drink at the bar behind you, what drink would you be, and what would you name yourself?
Well, for this one, I decided this would be a great time for a cocktail that I invented sometime last year.
Oh.
It's called the Familiar. I'll read the list of ingredients. It's a 1 ounce coffee liqueur, 1/4 ounce of vinegar, 1/4 ounce of cherry juice, a few drops of your own blood, then a piece of paper with a name written on it, and on the side of the glass you put a slice of red apple dashed with cinnamon, and you stir it with your finger, and then you drink it. You don't drink the paper, you spit that out.
Yeah, yes.
Unless you want to.
I'll eat the paper alongside it.
Yeah. And then you eat the apple. That's the idea.
Okay. What was your inspiration for this one?
This was a cocktail that I invented to go along with a card game I was developing for a year, which I've since put on hold because it got too complicated. It was in its final form. It was a good game and it would be fun to play, but it was way too complicated for people to reliably learn. So I have completely gone back to the drawing board. And that game is called Familiar. And one of the things in it is optionally, instead of using your fingerprint with like some ink, you can use your fingerprint with your own blood, your familiar card, in order to mark it as yours, and no one else can use it. And so this is a similar idea of, in using your own blood to make this drink, no one else can drink it. In fact, it is unsanitary for anyone else except you to drink this drink. It is only for you.
That's fair. Damn, this is literally like you drink my drink, you die.
Yes.
That's an awesome drink. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody do anything like this, even in like the crazier side of cocktailing and
I've looked it up really, and no one really has done this. And if you do make it, be sure to get a kit to draw out your blood. Don't just cut your finger or something like that. That's unsanitary. You'll get an infection.
Doesn't work.
Look
like
it
in the
up. Do it
movies.
right. Yeah.
And my last question for you, Mono.
Yes.
Who would you like to raid?
Well, I have a little rule stream, so I thought it'd be fun to implement that here. I'm going to quickly double check to see if the person I'm currently looking at is ending soon.
The infection
then-
adds flavor. That's why we call them push shots. That is one of the most cursed items that has ever entered my brain, Squid. Also, yes, Ellie, I am recording all of these answers. I do have plans to use them in the future. If you would like, I can send them to you, all the ones that I've compiled so far.
Good news, they're not ending soon. So, as per the rule I have set of rating whichever of my friends is online with the fewest viewers, we'll be heading ourselves over to our dearest Pinch Raccoon.
It's pinching time.
It's pinching time. That's the raid message.
Yeah.
It has to be.
It'll be one of the two here. It can. You actually know what? No, I'm not doing my raid message. It's pinching time. And then if you have, in any capacity, a pinch emote, by all means. But this will be the raid message. I'm sure Pinch will love that. Yes, my snookums. Yes. All right, Mono. I know that you have your stream happening on you said the blue moon of this month.
The blue moon, the 30th of this month.
30th of this month. Everybody, you better be there. This is big stuff, big lore. I'll give you another shout out here, just
Yeah.
before I forget.
Akra gets the whole day
There we go.
as a special deal. Everything you say you'll do once in a blue, this is the time to do it.
Exactly. And what time is this starting? I know you're endurance streaming.
It is an endurance stream, although I am not a morning person, so at the very least it will have to be maybe starting, I would say, around 3:30 p.m. PST. That's usually when I start, and then just going as long as I can.
Until the little mano mimis.
Unless I crash and burn and can't move on. That's when I call it.
Fair enough.
So long as I have the energy, I suppose Akra still, it will continue.
Perfect. All right. Mano, as we send this raider away to Pinch Raccoon,
Yes.
do you have any parting words of wisdom for our chat tonight?
I will reiterate my creed the third time, for I truly believe it to be true, not just on a personal level, but on a universal level. Everything changes always. You cannot stop it, you cannot halt it. You must be a part of that change. So remain ever changing, ever transforming, and you will live much better. You will exist better in the world, and it's always a new, and you can never go back.
And there you have it, folks. A blessing from a deity.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We will see you later. Please, let's go give some love, some Pinchin' time love to Pinch.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll be happy to see this one.
I'm certain of it.
100%. And to everybody else, I was going to stream tomorrow, but I will not because exhaustion, and I need to catch up on a few things. So,
Very fair.
have a good weekend, and we will see you later.
Yes. Or shall I say
What?
The Happy Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, and a Happy Halloween, Giving, and a Happy King Junior Day. And goodbye.
Goodbye.